Once you sign up on PyjamaHR and log in, this is the first page that you see. In this section, you will be able to see all the upcoming interviews for yourself and for others, that is your team members. If any tasks are pending, they will be visible under My Tasks. You will also be able to see if you've been mentioned in any comments under the mention section, and in emails, you will be able to see all your latest emails. Now, moving on to jobs. When there is a vacancy in your organization, the first thing you would do is to create a job for the same. Now, instead of having to create a job from scratch, PyjamaHR has a very unique feature using which you will be able to import jobs. For importing jobs, you can simply click on import job openings and you will be able to see all the jobs that you've posted on LinkedIn and Naukri so far. So you can select the jobs that you want to import and simply click on import job openings, and this will fetch all the details with regard to this job and import it to PyjamaHR. Another way of doing that would be to add a new job, which is creating a job from scratch. Over here, you can fill all the details with regard to the job, like the JD, the job title, the salary, etc. If in case you have all these details already saved in your computer or your drive, you can import it as well. Or you can also use an existing template. Now, in order to use a template, you can choose the template that you want to use and click on the button Use Template. Once all the fields have been filled, you can make any changes that you would like. And once that's done, click on Preview and Proceed. If you're okay with what the preview looks like, you click on Proceed to move on to the next step. In this step, we will basically be building the application form that the candidates have to fill if they want to apply for this job. There are some fields already in the form, like first name, last name, email ID, contact number, and resume. On the left-hand side, you will see the suggested fields, which are most commonly used fields. You can either keep them as mandatory, make them optional, or completely remove them from the application form. If in case you want to ask some questions to the candidates that are not visible here, you can also create your own question by adding new questions. You can select the type of answer that you would like the candidate to give and enter the question. You also have the option of making this question mandatory or not. Once it's done, you simply click on Add Question. Once you've added all the questions, we click on Continue to move on to the third step, which is where you define the hiring flow or the different stages that this interview process will have. Now, stages such as source, applied, hired, and rejected are common for all the jobs, but the stages in between can be modified. So if in case you would like to add more stages here, or if you'd like to remove any of the stages that are already there, you can do so from this section. And once that is done, you click on Finish to create the job. We will now go back to jobs to see one of the jobs that have already been created. Now that we've created a job already, our next job would be to publish it. So here we will click on the Publish Job button, and you will be able to publish the job that you created on various free job boards. So you can see all the job boards where you can publish the job here. You can also publish it on your company's career page by linking it. We also have integrated LinkedIn, and so you will be able to post the job that you just created on your company's LinkedIn page as well. Now, because this is a two-way data syncing, you will not only be able to publish the job from here to LinkedIn, but if somebody applies to the job on LinkedIn, that candidate's data will be fetched and put under the job on PyjamaHR as well, because of the two-way data communication that we have. So this is where you can publish the job on various job boards. Another way of sharing this job would be to click on the share icon here, where you can copy the link to this job, or you can also share it on social media. Using the link, you can share the job with your network. You can also share it on other portals and job boards that haven't been mentioned here. So this is how you can create a job and also publish the job. Now, once that is done, let's click on the job, and you will see that the different stages that we defined for the hiring process will be visible to you here. Now, because we have created the job and also published the job, the next step would be for us to add candidates to this job. Now, there are multiple ways to do this. One of the ways is using our Chrome extension that we have for Naukri. So what you can do is open your Naukri recruiter profile and select the different candidates that you would like to import for this particular job on PyjamaHR. The instructions are explained here. You just have to install this extension, and when you click on it, it will show you how it works. You can select the job for which you would like to import the candidates, select all the candidates and click on import, and the profiles will get imported. Other ways of adding candidates are you can import CSV or Excel file that you have with candidate information. You can also import resumes which will get passed and candidate profiles will be created. You can also invite candidates by sending them an email with the link to apply for this job, or you can also add candidates manually. Now, along with adding candidates, it's also important for you to add the hiring members for this particular job. You can add members of your team who will work with you in recruiting candidates for this job. This can be an interviewer, it can be the hiring manager, etc. So you can either select the team member of yours from the drop down if they already have an account on PyjamaHR, or you can simply add their email ID and select the type of access you would like to give them and click on add member. So once they accept the invite, they will be a member of this particular job. Now we can see the various stages that are visible here. Source candidates are the candidates that we have imported from multiple sources. If candidates apply to the job that you've posted, either on the different job boards, LinkedIn, your careers page, or even through the application form that you share with them using the job link, they will all be visible to you under the applied stage. Now, moving candidate from one stage to another is as simple as dragging and dropping them like this. Now, let us look at what a candidate's profile actually looks like. When I click on the candidate's profile, it's going to show me the application form with all the basic information, the resume of the candidate. Under comments, you will basically be able to see any communication that you have had with your team members with regard to this candidate. So if you want to ask one of your colleague or one of your team members to screen this particular candidate, you can tag them and mention the message and just click the comment button, and they will receive a notification for the same. Then comes the feedback. So once a candidate's interview is over, the interviewer will be prompted to give a feedback on this candidate. So when it is requested, it will be visible in this section. If it's pending, it will be under pending. And once the feedback has been submitted, it will be visible to you under the submitted section. All the emails that you've exchanged with this particular candidate will be visible under emails tab. The timeline is going to show you the activity log. So all the activities that have taken place on this particular candidate's profile will be visible to you under the timeline section. Under attachments, you can save any documents or files related to this candidate. So if you have their cover letter, or if in case you would like to save some sort of a portfolio or some document that the candidate has shared, it can be saved in the attachment section under the candidate's profile. You can also move the candidate from one stage to other by clicking on the Move Candidate button. There's another option here wherein you can directly reject the candidate from here. Clicking on this will open up a template, and you have the option of rejecting this candidate and sending out this email. You can edit this email if you'd like to, or you can also reject this candidate without sending an email. Similarly, if you click on hire, you can hire this candidate either by sending them the offer letter, or you can simply move the candidate to hire stage without sending the offer letter. Now, one very unique feature that PyjamaHR has that no other ATS platform has is the comparison view. So you can click on this comparison view and click on default. So what this does is that it basically opens up all the candidates' information in a spreadsheet-like format, and you will be able to compare all the candidates based on certain parameters. Now, if you would like to compare only a few candidates out of these, you can select the candidates and save as a new view, and then you will be able to see a new spreadsheet with only those candidates, and then comparing them, just the three of those candidates, will become easier. You can also use the filter option available on the left hand side to filter all of these candidates based on factors such as their experience, the city that they belong to, their gender, their educational qualification, etc. So these are a few ways in which you can filter candidates or compare them with each other. Now, the next step, once we have enough candidates under source and applied stages, and once we've contacted them, the next step would be for us to schedule an interview. You can do that by going to the candidate's profile and clicking on schedule an interview. Then you will select who the interviewer is going to be. This can either be someone who has an account on PyjamaHR, or you can simply add their email ID as well. You can choose the type of interview. So since we have G Suite integrated, you can schedule Google Meet video interviews from our platform itself. We also have a very good in-house video conferencing application that is specially designed for conducting interviews. So you can use that as well, or the telephonic or face-to-face interview. Now, if in case the type of interview you want to schedule is not mentioned here, you can click on custom and add the details of the same and save it. The request for a feedback by option is by default turned on, so that the interviewer will be asked to give a feedback once the interview is over. But if in case you do not want to ask for a feedback, you can turn this off. You can go through the email content by clicking on the show message or mail body, make any changes if you'd like to, and then click on schedule and notify. So this will send out an email to the candidate as well as the interviewer, letting them know of the time, date, and the duration of the interview, along with the link if it's a video interview, so that they can join the interview. Now, interview can also be scheduled by clicking on the interview tab here and then clicking on schedule new interview. Under the interviews tab here, you will be able to see all of your upcoming interviews as well as your past interviews. Now, you can not just for yourself, you can also see the upcoming and past interviews for your team as well. So you can see the upcoming interviews for team as well as the past interviews for the team. Now I'm just going back to my interviews. I'm just clicking on past interview. Over here, you will be able to see all the details of the interview as well. Now, to join an interview that has been scheduled on our in-house video conferencing application or on Google Meet, the link for the same will be here, but this one has been scheduled on our in-house app. So I'm just going to click on join now. When I do that, it's going to ask me for the permission of my camera and microphone, and then I click on join interview. You can see the candidate's video here on top, and you will also be able to see his entire profile here along with his resume, any comments, any feedbacks that have been shared, so that you will be well informed. And while talking to the candidate, you can also take a look at their details. Thank you, Nitish, for joining. Once the interview is completed, you can just click on end the call. Once you click on end the call, this pop-up will ask you to submit a feedback of the interview. So you can rate the candidate and also give your feedback. You can also skip evaluation, or you can, once you've added the feedback, you can click on add evaluation. Another way of scheduling an interview is where you can let the invitees choose from your availability. So just like how it works with a Calendly link, you can set your the hours in which you are available, and the invitees can choose a slot from that. So to do that, you click on the second option, which is let the invitees choose from my availability. You select the job name and you select the candidate. You then add the interviewer's name, or you can add their email ID as well, and you can create an event. Once that is done, you will choose the type of interview. You can choose the date. You can give the candidate a window period within which they can choose a slot, request a feedback, and then you will see that the dates that you have mentioned, you will be able to see your availability on all those days. You can go ahead and customize these, break them into 2 different intervals, or you can also mark a few days as not available as well. So this way the candidate can choose a slot according to their convenience from your available hours. Once the interview has been scheduled using the second option, the candidate will receive an email like this with a link that they can click on in order to book the slot for the interview. Once the link opens, the candidate can choose a slot according to their preference and click on confirm. They will then be asked to fill in their details. And once that is done, the candidate will click on schedule and the interview is scheduled for the candidate. The candidate will then receive a confirmation email like this, which gives them the option to reschedule or cancel the event. The candidate will also be able to see the interview scheduled in their calendar along with a link to join the Google Meet and also the link to make any changes to the event if necessary. You will then be brought back to the interviews page. Now, after that comes the mailbox. So since we have the G Suite integration, if you have your domain-based emails on Gmail, you can integrate it and all the emails that you send out from PyjamaHR will go from your official email ID. But just in case your domain-based emails are not on Gmail, you will receive an email ID from PyjamaHR. It will be an extension of PyjamaHR, which you can use to send and receive emails on PyjamaHR. And when you send emails from the PyjamaHR email ID, you will also receive them in your inbox here, which you can see. Then comes the report section. So the reports will basically give you an idea about all the activities that have happened from the day that you signed up on PyjamaHR. The overview will give you a high-level view of the candidate information and the job information that you have posted on the platform from the day you signed up. To see the reports with respect to just the jobs, you can click on the Jobs tab. This will show you the candidates that have been imported for the different jobs, how many jobs are active, how many interviews have been scheduled for different departments, etc. You can also see the report with respect to the candidates. So you can see the different stages that the candidates are in, how many candidates have been hired from different sources, and also the performance of the different sources can be checked here. You can also track your team's performance here. You can keep track of you can keep track of how many interviews have been scheduled by your team members, how many candidates have been hired, etc. You can also find the rate of hiring of each of your team members in this section. The report section will basically help you improve your current recruitment process and the hiring process that you have in place. You can also further filter these reports based on different departments, different jobs, and also according to different timelines. Moving on to the talent pool. The talent pool is basically a repository of all the candidate information that you have added onto PyjamaHR, including the candidates that have applied to various jobs that you've posted. So all of these candidates will be visible under the default folder. As you can see, these candidates belong to different jobs and are in different stages, but are all in one place in the default folder under the talent pool. This makes it easier for you to filter candidates that you have throughout all the jobs, and it becomes easy for you to keep track of the data all in one place. Furthermore, you can also add candidates to the default folder. If in case you do not want to add candidates to a particular job, you can also add them in this section and keep them saved for later use. Now, another functionality of the talent pool is that you can create different folders and segregate the candidates and keep them in different buckets, so that if in case you have a requirement in future for, let's say, a sales role, the candidates that will be in this folder are candidates who are the most eligible for this role. So this way, it will be easier for you to find the candidates who are suitable for the role, and it will save you a lot of time as well. Now coming, then we also have another folder here called the employee referral, which is another feature of PyjamaHR. So you can share an email ID that you will see here. You can share the email ID with your employees and your co-workers. They can send resumes of candidates that they would like to refer to this email ID, and all those candidates' resumes will be passed and profiles for those candidates will be created under the referred candidates folder in the talent pool. So another benefit of the referral feature is that when you click on the referred candidates profile, you will also see which employee referred this particular candidate as well. Moving on to the next feature, which is the career page. So I'm just going to click on the profile here, go to my profile, and you have this option called career page settings. Now, a lot of our clients use this feature because a lot of companies do not have a separate careers page on their website. So this section will basically enable you to create a career page for your website from PyjamaHR. Our clients like Sugar Cosmetics have also opted for this feature. And what you can do in this using this feature is that you can add a banner here, your contact information, choose the primary and secondary color. This is how your then you can see the preview of what your career page will look like. And after that, whatever jobs you create on PyjamaHR will also be visible on your careers page. And once you close the hiring for a job, the job from your career page will also be removed. If in case you already have a career page on your website, then you can also link that with PyjamaHR by clicking on this career page widget. You can click on view details and you can follow the instructions given here to link your career page with PyjamaHR, so that whatever jobs are created and created on PyjamaHR can also be published on your careers page. Then comes team members. So in order for you to add your team members to create onto PyjamaHR, you can invite them by clicking on the invite new member button. You have to go on, once you click on invite new member, you can add their email ID and you can choose what type of access you would like to give them, or rather what permissions you would like to give this particular person. Now we have 5 different access types here, as you can see: the super admin, admin, hiring manager, interviewer, and external recruiter. In order to see what permissions a particular access type has, you can simply click on it and you will be able to see a brief description of what permissions this particular access type will have. And accordingly, you can choose the access type and send them an invite. All the pending invites will be visible under the pending invite section, and once they've accepted the invite, they will be under the team member section. Now, the templates that we saw in job description, you can add more templates, more job templates by coming to the My Template section here. Here you can see a lot of email templates. You can also view and edit them according to your requirements, or you can also create your own new email templates. Templates can also be created for jobs, like I said. You can also edit the existing templates and also for offer letters. So you can create a template with the structure that your company follows for the offer letters, create the template and save it, so that whenever you have to send it to a candidate, you just have to fill in the details like their compensation, etc., and send it across. The integration section will show you what all integrations does PyjamaHR provide, and also the ones that have already been integrated by you. So you can see all the integrations here, and the ones that haven't been done, you can go ahead and click on the integrate button. Similarly, you can, and then you can also add your personal information as well as your company's information like the logo, etc., to keep it saved in one place. Moving on, the bell icon here on top will show you all the notifications that you've received, like if someone's mentioned you in a comment, or if someone scheduled an interview for you. This icon will give you access to our help center. You can also read the blogs. What's new will basically show you the features that have been newly launched, and you also have the option of requesting for a new feature.